Coming up in today's Locked On Angels, should the Angels sign Clayton Kershaw or Zack Grienke? Are there any trades we can possibly do here? Let's talk about it all. It's trade season, even though it's the lockout. That's coming up right now on Locked On Angels.
You are Locked On Angels, your daily Los Angeles Angels podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Locked On Angels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Steve Granado. You can shoot me a follow over on Twitter at Steve Granado, Granado. Of course, our Locked On account is at Locked On Angels. Monday here on Locked On Angels. Of course, we're taking your questions. We take your questions every Monday at Locked On Angels. Send in your questions on Sundays, and we answer them on Mondays. You, of course, can always call our voicemail line. We have a plethora of voicemails today, and we still have some back archived. 714-409-6396. You can always call us or you can always tweet us and we will get to your questions. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We have a couple of them, and based on the title of this one, that's where we're going to start. This one coming in from Bucky over on Twitter at BuckyBucky21. Thanks for your tweet today, bro. Do you think the Angels can/would sign Kershaw to a deal similar to Justin Verlander? He has some miles on him, but he is still young and has less innings pitched than Verlander, and a six-man rotation could help him. Thanks again, Bucky, for sending in your tweet a couple of weeks in a row, I think. I appreciate you sending in your questions every Sunday. Okay, Clayton Kershaw, man. Clayton Kershaw is my favorite pitcher that I have ever watched, I think, at least from the point that I've ever actually known what I was watching. You know, I got to watch, Randy Johnson when I was a kid, but I didn't really know what I was watching yet. But as far as guys that I adore from this era of pitching, Clayton Kershaw is still my top pitcher that I have ever actually seen pitch. Would the Angels look after him, going for him? I got to imagine they are toying with that idea, especially now given the landscape that the Angels are in and how they didn't get any of the big free agents aside from Noah Syndergaard. I think they obviously would be probably looking at him. Now, the Justin Verlander deal you alluded to, which actually hasn't gone completely final yet, is a 2-year deal. Is Clayton Kershaw willing to sign a 2-year deal at his age? I don't know. That might be a little tougher to swing because Clayton has been obviously a lifelong Dodger and has an incredible career, a Hall of Fame career with the Dodgers. So I know that the Dodgers have at least expressed interest in having him return to Los Angeles. I got to imagine Clayton still has some motivation to want to do that as well. He just had another kid. He has got 4 kids now. He was raised the previous 3 in L.A., and he and his wife have been locked down in Los Angeles for years and years and years. So I got to imagine that, L.A. is still his home. I know that Texas was reportedly looking at him. So I don't know. I don't know how much interest the Angels would have in Clayton Kershaw. I got to imagine they have at least, again, toyed with the idea. But a 2-year deal, I don't know if that's enticing on Clayton's end. Yes, he is injury prone, and we've seen him be injured in the past and have really dealt with back issues a lot. So I don't know. I feel like his market's going to be kind of weird. I feel like he's going to have some sort of leniency towards the Dodgers. And so I feel like in that sense, you'd kind of have to pry him away. I don't know. I know, again, from everything that we have read, it looked like Texas is really close on getting him. So curious. That is a curious case. Would Clayton Kershaw come to the Angels? Let me know if you are interested in that. I mean, I love Clayton Kershaw, and a healthy Clayton Kershaw is a Hall of Fame Clayton Kershaw. So he's incredible, and for him to pitch in Anaheim would be honestly a dream come true for me. Okay, thanks again for your question, Bucky. You can always send us a tweet at Locked On Angels. We got another one coming in here from Cody at @A_Cody over on Twitter. Since it's looking like a trade for pitching is most likely, and Adell/Marsh are our top pieces, who would you rather prefer to keep, and who do you think is more desirable to other clubs? Thanks again, Cody. Adell Marsh, man, we talked about this on Friday's episode and how unwilling I am to moving these players. I really, really like these players. Joe Adell, Brandon Marsh are guys that I am pretty high on, and I am not alone in my thinking. Here's the thing, Cody. You've given me a Sophie's choice. And the reason I like Adell and Marsh so much is because I like them together. That's why I don't want to break them up. They're best friends, right? Best friend players. And for them to roam the same outfield for years to come in Anaheim is maybe the most intriguing thing that I find on the young Angels core right now. That and the young bullpen potential. But to move one or either of them, I think is really, really a tough blow. And I would love to see them play together for years to come. If I had to pick just for the defensive awareness, I'd probably say Marsh, that I would like to keep. But if there is any way to keep both of them on the same field for years to come in Anaheim, that is 100% the route I want to take. In that sense, I don't know if there's one more desirable than the other. Again, Marsh is a better defender and a potential center fielder moving forward. And Adell is likely going to stick to the corner outfield spots. So in that sense, maybe Marsh is more desirable. But, I mean, we saw some flashes of Joe Adell. I mean, I think to the Yankee game, that big slam in the Yankee game, that's where my brain goes, oh, okay, Joe Adell, that's the future right there. So I would really love to keep both of them. Thanks again, Cody. Thanks for your tweet. Let's get to one more here in this first segment. We have some voicemails coming up and a couple more tweets, so don't run away on us just yet. We got another one here. This one's coming from at Halo's Bright Side. Thanks for checking in. Fan base seems to be inundated with a lot of negativity, arguably warranted with the free agent starting pitchers we didn't get during the frenzy before lockout. But what's some good positives in the offseason so far? Anything promising / different compared to the past? Thanks, Halo's Bright Side. Kind of what I was just talking about right there is Joe Adell. I have been following Joe Adell on Instagram for the last couple of months and been watching his workout videos and looking at how he is so confident this offseason and how much confidence he gained this year. I think that's the one thing, dude, that I'm just like so completely stoked about watching is getting a full season out of Joe Adell next season, where he has a whole full opportunity to really, really play. And that's the one thing that I go, yes. I think the other one, maybe not of the offseason, but things I'm looking forward to is I'm really looking forward to Jansen Junk. I'm very curious about Jansen Junk, and I'm glad he's part of this organization, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table from reliever role. So that one I'm very excited about. Obviously, the positives of the offseason, getting Noah Syndergaard, it's hard to look at it now in the same scope that we did when the Angels signed him. But I am really, really excited about Noah Syndergaard and seeing him return just as a baseball fan, to be able to see him return to the mound. But to now do it in the team that I root for is really, really cool. So some positives there, man. I'm really excited about Adell. I'm really excited about Junk next season and just having Thor on this team and just the presence that he brings. And just honestly, he's a cool dude. He's just a cool guy. And I'm really excited to see Thor pitch at Angel Stadium. So very excited about that. And hey, Halo's Bright Side, thanks for bringing positivity to the Angels community. I really do appreciate that. And that's something that we try to stress here on Locked On Angels as well. Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another one that lets you stream your favorite shows, and you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you got like all these devices and a bunch of different logins. It's a total mess. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch all your favorite sports, including the Angels, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes, no more new devices, and the best part about it all is there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. All right, let's go ahead and jump to some voicemails here on Locked On Angels, your first listen of the day. Let's jump ahead. We have two of them today here in this segment. We have one more in our last segment as well. Let's get to this first one.
Hey, Steve, it's Brian. I want to focus on a couple things. One, if the Angels, regardless of what the Angels do in free agency, actually, do you see any trades being a real possibility? And I guess who would you like to see, and who do you think we'd be willing to give up in those trades? And second, again, kind of ignoring free agency right now, and who we also get in trades, and ignoring Syndergaard and Lorenzen, who from our starting lineup do you see really shining this year? I have a lot of confidence in Sandoval, of course, but I want to see Suarez do well. Of course, I want to see Detmers do well. Yeah, I just want to look into what we already have versus what we're trying to get, and look forward in the future. Again, love the show, love the podcast. Looking forward to your future content. Thank you.
Thanks for your call, Brian. I really appreciate it, man. You can always call us 714-409-6396, 24/7, 365. We're not going to get to all the voicemails that we've got here. We're going to spread them out a little bit throughout this week, so be prepared to that. You might not get your voicemail on the show here today. We got a lot of calls after how everything ended, so I do appreciate all the calls. Keep calling. If you leave us a voicemail, we will more than likely get to it, so don't worry about it. It will come up. Just keep listening. Okay, Brian, trade's a real possibility? Yeah, I think there is there will be a serious push, obviously, once the lockout ends, that the Angels will have to make trade-wise, especially if they're actually serious about competing in 2022, which everything up until the last couple of days before the lockout, it seemed like the Angels were very serious about 2022. So I got to imagine trades are coming. I got to imagine Perry's going to try and work some magic here because we talked about it a second ago, but keeping Adell and Marsh seems to be a high priority because they haven't moved them yet, when it's seemingly like the last couple of years they could have moved them, but they haven't. I don't think they're invincible. If the right deal comes along and they have to part ways with one or both, if it gets the team better, then it gets the team better. But it doesn't seem like the Angels have anything that's like super ready to go, right? Like Adell and Marsh are to take up the corner outfield spots. Because right now, like Marsh and Adell are battling for right and left field, right? Like not even, like one of them will start in right field, just straight up. Like if opening day was tomorrow, one of them is starting in right field and one of them might take Justin Upton's spot in left. So straight up, that right field position is open. Who's going to get it? We're going to find out. Who am I excited to see play next year? I kind of talked about it a second ago, but I'm really excited about Jansen Junk. I'm really obviously excited about Adell and Marsh. And I think one of the most exciting things I think moving into the offseason or moving into the spring training when we get there, I'm super stoked about this shortstop battle. I'm very excited to see what Vasquez, Wade, and Rengifo are going to be doing. They're going to be battling out, man. Shortstop. It's been a really long time. A really, 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 gosh, I don't even, like pre-Orlando Cabrera, maybe? The last time shortstop was just flat out open. When was it last time flat out open, right? Because it was Iglesias last year. Before that, it was Andrelton. Before that, it was Eric Ibar. Before that, it was Orlando Cabrera. So when was the last time shortstop was just straight up open? So I'm kind of excited to see who's going to get that spot because it's the Wild West. And so I'm really stoked to see that battle. Thanks again, Brian, for calling in. You can always call us at any time and leave a voicemail. That phone number is 714-409-6396. Okay, one more here in the segment. Mark has a voicemail for us.
Hey, Steve, it's Mark from Garden Grove. I just had a little thought that I've been pondering. This is actually something I've thought about ever since Garrett Cole actually signed with the Yankees. Do you think that the Angels having a six-man rotation deters us from signing quality pitchers? Because, I don't know, I thought about this, and I think that some pitchers who are trying to chase a Cy Young or trying to chase those stats get to pitch less frequently. And also, like, you know, those pitchers like Max Scherzer, Robbie Ray that signed with other teams. Do you think having a six-man rotation as opposed to a five-man rotation would probably mess up their rhythm on a daily basis? I don't know yet. I wonder what you think about if that affects their style of play. All right. Love your podcast, man. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Mark, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Six-man rotation. Is a six-man rotation bad? You know what's interesting about this? I think it kind of works in two ways. Without a six-man rotation, I don't think the Angels get Noah Syndergaard. So that's kind of weird. Without a six-man rotation, Shohei Ohtani doesn't shine. So it kind of, again, works in two ways. Is a six-man rotation bad to some? I'm sure there is. I might be a deterrent. But weirdly enough, it's kind of push-pull, Jekyll and Hyde here. So I don't know if it's necessarily just straight up bad. I wouldn't go that far. I don't know. There's definitely going to be some pitchers out there that might shy away from it because they want to go every fifth day as opposed to every sixth day. And their rhythm in that regard and how they've been pitching for years and years and years. So I got to imagine there's some old school thoughts that go, no thanks, not for me. But on guys that are coming off of injuries or want to preserve their arms a little bit better, a six-man rotation is absolutely intriguing. And I know for Shohei, it's massive, right? It's massive. It's why he's been able to find success. If he had to go every 5 days, I don't know how much better he's going to be able to hold up. So every 6 days is really crucial to him. And of course, for Noah Syndergaard, that's a big, big deal. Thanks again, Mark, for your call. Very interesting topic, however. It is a newer thing in baseball. And, it's kind of interesting seeing some teams take over it, and the Angels obviously are now one of those teams. This holiday season, grab the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar or even better. Built Bar is filled with so much holiday goodness, rich and decadent flavor covered in chocolate. But amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat, and of course, high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. And of course, you know, there's so many flavors, you're going to have a hard time choosing which ones you want. You want raspberry or do you want mint brownie? Do you want cherry or do you want double chocolate? Do you want cookies and cream or peanut butter brownie? You can't go wrong. Built Bar gives you that extra fuel you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers. Or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you that extra something to keep you going. So throw one in your jacket or purse. You never know when you're going to need it. Tell Santa to throw a couple in your stocking this Christmas. With so many flavors, they'd make anyone's Christmas morning a happy one. Do you like some of those marshmallowy treats around the holidays? I know I do. And you need to get your hands on the new Built Bar Puffs. They're light and fluffy, marshmallowy through and through, and different flavors all covered in chocolate that tastes so good you won't believe that they're filled with protein. I got a promo code for you. It's LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. That's LOCKED15 for 15% off your order at built.com. Back here on Locked On Angels, your first listen of the day. We got a couple more questions coming in here. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. We really appreciate it. Let's go ahead. One more voicemail for the day.
Hi, this is Rob Foreman. So after Marcus Stroman signed with the Cubs, I don't think it's too early to panic. You know, I don't think it's too late to panic. But there's still a couple dudes out there. You know, what do you think about bringing back Zack Grienke? And then Carlos Rendon's out there too. I guess Danny Duffy. Yeah, I know it's still make some trades, but there's still hope. There's still hope.
Hey, Rob. Great to hear your voice again, man. Bringing back Zack Grienke. Obviously, Grienke pitched for the Angels a couple of years ago before he went to pitch for the Diamondbacks and eventually the Astros. Would I want him to come back to the Angels? It's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow, man. I like Zack Grienke as a dude. I think he's out there, but in a fun way. But as far as constructing a roster, I think what's giving a lot of teams pause on Zack Grienke is that dip in velocity. Right, he took a massive dip in velocity and just has not looked like himself. So that's probably going to sway a lot of teams, and I got to imagine it might sway the Angels as well. I don't know, man. Dips in velocities are super hard, especially as players get older. It's really hard to get those miles back. And, you know, velocity isn't everything, but you got to have a pitcher who is willing to change based upon how their arm is working at the time. And I don't know Zack Grienke personally and his potential willingness to do that, but something needs to change for Zack Grienke in order for me to really be excited about potentially bringing him back to Anaheim. So thanks again, Rob, for your question. Let's go ahead and get to one last question here today. And we got one coming over on Twitter. Invasion of Mikes on Twitter says, with the Angels going through every route looking for pitching, what is the likelihood they could swing a trade with the A's for someone like Montas, Bassett, Manaea? Would the A's even consider this, since it would be a division rival? Thank you so much for your question. Of course, again, every Sunday we put out the tweet for asking for questions, so make sure to follow us at Locked On Angels to be a part of that. The A's considering to trade with the Angels? Yeah. No, I don't think there's much water to be held with in-division trades. Obviously, some teams don't trade with other teams. It's just kind of the nature of the beast sometimes. But I don't think it's going to deter them right now, because the A's have very clearly made it known that they want a fire sale. Right, they're willing to get rid of anybody and everybody, which, you know, that could be a whole nother episode for Locked On A's. I won't even get into that, how I feel about that, but I'm sure you can kind of guess just based on my tone. I mean, the most intriguing one to me, just like without dipping into numbers too much, is Manaea. Sean Manaea. I really like Sean Manaea. I'm a baseball fan, and obviously I want to win, but I also care about bringing cool dudes. Like, I like, adoring these players and they're cool people. Like, that's why I like Noah Syndergaard so much. Sean Manaea just seems like a cool dude. I know that has no bearing as far as winning or losing, but he just seems like a cool dude. But at the same time, Sean Manaea obviously has thrown a no-hitter in the past against the Sox back in 2018, almost 1918. But yeah, I mean, he really shined a couple of times this year. The numbers really worked out well for him this past season. I know his walks were down, his strikeouts were about the same. So I like Sean Manaea a lot. And if the Angels were somehow be able to swing him, man, that would make me really happy. I really do like Sean Manaea. So that's an interesting trade target. Potentially, maybe we can make an episode about that down the line. So thanks so much. That's at Invasion of Mikes over on Twitter, dude. I really appreciate your question. Keep sending them in, guys. Keep sending them in, and you could be on the show on Mondays. Every Monday we do a Monday mailbag. That's at Locked On Angels, or of course you can tag me as well at Steve Granado, Granado. Our voicemail line 714-409-6396. Let me know how you feel about the lockout. Here's your lockout update for the day. Still going. Let me know how you feel about everything. Give me a call, 714-409-6396. You can check out my other podcasts as well. Our Game, that's Ourgame. It's a great offseason listen. You should go check it out. It's free and available everywhere. It's all about baseball and history. You'll definitely like it, I promise. And of course, my other podcast, it's all about movies that we should have watched. It's called Movies I Should Have Watched. My best friend Alex and I are reviewing all old movies that we have missed throughout the years. Maybe not the best movies ever, but some of the movies that you went, oh man, I should have probably watched that one. And that's what we're doing. That's, again, Movies I Should Have Watched on podcast platforms everywhere. Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. For your second listen, check out Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us in today's Locked On Angels. Thanks for checking us out. We got more Angels baseball coverage throughout the week. Of course, 5 days a week still, all the way during this lockout. We will give you updates whenever we hear them. But, hey, we're getting the news just like you are. So thanks so much for checking us out. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube. And, of course, hit auto downloads right here on your audio side. That way you wake up to a new episode of Locked On Angels every weekday. All right, guys, I'm Steve Granado. We'll talk to you next time. Later.